Alright, we back, and I think I'm gonna try and throw a stun grenade. Our objectives are to create a diversion for the other team and rescue the hostages. For complete safety and efficiency, we should use a stun grenade. That does seem like the quickest way. Okay, I'll provide support. Give it your best throw, Kagiri. Kagura. Okay, Kagiri sounds better. Kagari. Yeah, Kagari, there we go. Just leave it to me, I'll show you all my disappearing magic baseball trick. We don't want to disappear. Disappear? Well, based on the law of physics, where if we thrown hard enough, there's a possibility that the stun grenade would break apart, essentially disappearing. Miss Kagachi, now is not the time to be enabling Kagari's joke. Fuck! Japanese names are hard. Comic trio, ha! Everyone, put on your masks and earplugs. The weapon is no toy. The stones and Molotovs pelted down on us, all crouched behind the metal plate and domed our gear. Dodged down, whatever. Ah! With his shield in hand, Enforcer Masaoka stood up and Enforcer Kagari hurled the stun grenade. Get your Kagari here! Strike! Grenade exploded, a flash, a bang. Once the smoke cleared, everyone was dead silent on the other side of the barricade. All the students, captors, and hostages lied on the ground unconscious. All there was left to do was clear the barricade, secure the captors, and release the hostages. We're about to fire once! Inspector Sumori ran off. Moments later, she returned with her extinguisher and quickly put out the flames. The barricade simmered down to a sizzle and then went silent. There's still one left. There's still one left. Just throw the fire extinguisher at them. One of the captors was running away, his face pale. You're not going anywhere! Enforcer Kagari raced up to the captor, then drop-kicked him, knocking him out. Suppression complete! Like I said, we're protecting them. Yeah, sure. Heads, tails, tomato, tomato, whatever. Next, I'd like to begin questioning. The hostages? I already asked Cardamore to send drones our way to take the hostages to safety. It would be better for them to have human contact until they reach the regroup point, right? Inspector Tsunamori, do you mind? Of course not. But Miss Kagachi, you're okay with leading the interrogation? What do you mean by okay? Rather than Miss Droid, I think Akane will do a better job making hostages feel at ease. Well, you can just leave the question to me then. Back in the day, they used to call me Calm Master Masa. Oh, I better go make some popcorn then. Kagari, I think you must have misunderstood something. Anyway, I'll leave it to you guys. I'll return after bringing the hostages to the regroup point. Although I did not fully understand her actions, Inspector Tsunamori I had made a better judgment on the situation to mitigate any further effects on the hostages' use. She left escorting the hostages. We started interrogating the captors. However, it took longer than expected. They were not able to form any intelligible sentences, only slurred rants or heavy sobs. I suspect they might be under the influence. Professor Kagari, please pat them down for any paraphernalia. Okay, let's see what they got. Now, don't be hiding anything from us, got it? Don't be violent. We only found over-the-counter mental supplements on them. Is that all? Are you hiding anything else? Remaining silent or making false claims is an obstruction of justice. Christ. It will only make your future very unpleasant. You know, don't threaten them like that. Come on, just tell us what you know, deal? Good cop, bad cop routine, a common interrogation tactic used to message the target into divulging what they know. Inspectors shouldn't have a calming effect. They were so scared by what I said that Enforcer Masaoka had to play the good cop. Why is it so difficult? See, my friend here is really scared when she's angry, huh? Before the gates of hell open up, you'd be wise to tell her everything. Either way, I'm still gonna enjoy watching. Enforcer Kagari always had to add his 2 cents. It was long and grueling, but we managed to extract some useful information out of them. The total number of hostages that remained, as well as their locations. According to the AV room on the 3rd floor of the central campus, 5 at the entrance of East Campus near the barricade, 15 in the classroom on the 2nd floor of Central Campus, 10 in the classroom on the 1st floor of Central Campus, as 5 were at the entrance of Central Campus near the barricade. I'm back. Any updates? You know how many hostages there are and their locations. One to try where the mastermind was. The rest of their arsenal, but the hostages were dehydrated and exhausted. We should spend less time here and quickly rescue the rest of them. What should we do, Mr. Wright? Let's proceed as Inspector Sunamori advised. The hostages' hues are at risk of becoming clouded. Understood. We place these captives in that locker room and let the drones pick them up. Man, I really want to make popcorn. We can do that when we get back to HQ. Now then, let's go. Moved up the stairs to the 2nd floor West Campus, empty. No one was present. Not too far away led this connecting corridor. Since the corridor was quite narrow, Professor Masaoka and Professor Kagurari could barely fit with their metal plates. Worked with caution, trying to keep ourselves and the plates hidden from view. Pressing against the corridor's closed door, silence. So we opened it, but to our surprise there was another group of captors, 6 of them holding steel bats. Such a tight space, their steel bats would cause more of a danger to themselves than us. It would be difficult for us to maneuver too. Then further ahead my eye spotted. Watch out, that's a Molotov! It's light up tight. If ignited, it could be disastrous. Unlike a chemical type, this one contained gasoline and needed to be set on fire to work. Among the 4 captors who had a bottle, there was one trying to light a Molotov. Fidgeted with a match and shaking, trying to strike it. He panicked more each time he could not get it to light. What should I do? Hard call to make. Scanned the area for a fire extinguisher. Quickly found one on the black wall, grabbed it, and pulled the pin. Unfortunately, just hold your breath. Without any mercy, I sprayed all of the students. Put out the freshly lit match. Oh, what about the Molotovs? Fine, let's get them all deflustered. Right on, let's do it. Hey, don't go overboard, Kagari. As the captors struggled in the fog of white smoke, they forced her Kagari. Fuck! Why am I yawning so much? It's only 1. I woke up all of 12 hours ago. Why am I yawning so much? What the fuck? Forced Kagari efficiently and effectively suppressed them all. They did not stand a chance. Steel bats and 2x4s fell from their clutches like a discordant symphony of thuds. They all fell to the floor. All the matches were removed from the possession. Suppression complete! Good work. Yeah, let's attack under the cover of smoke. It's such a ninja thing to do, you know? It was a blast. Kagari, like I said, it's not all fun and games. Maybe for you. Finding employment, enjoying one's work can make one's you better. Look forward to your enthusiasm and future work assignments. Well, I don't know about you, But this is quite the compliment coming from you, Mr. Riddle. I'll do my best. No sign of any enemies. All clear to proceed. Oh man, but I'll fight more. Those punks deserve a good beating. Like I've said before, they're students, not enemies. You are supposed to protect them from harming themselves. As long as straight as an arrow, Missy. You always go by the book no matter what. It's not only going by the book, but doing what is logical. It's not only going by the book, but doing what is logical. You must follow the protection protocol to safely secure them. Are you being serious? There's a problem if enforcers use excessive force. As long as people resist arrest, must utilize the appropriate procedures to prevent this problem. But Miss Kagachi, let's just give her a rest for now. Nothing you say will change your mind, Missy. She's very serious about this. Well, I actually think that Miss Kagachi is probably the most intimidating among us. What do you mean by that? Is she a little sus? Okay, let's just drop it, yeah? Go ahead to Central Campus and shut the rest of them down. No, Kagari, you may not go on your own. You sure? As soon as we entered Central Campus, Inspector Tsunomura stopped in her tracks. What happened? Miss Karanomori is calling. Turn on the tablet Neuros columns. Here's the data from the analysis of the confiscated drugs. 4 types of drugs were found on the students. All of them were readily available mental supplements on the market. They improved the hue and weren't harmful in any way. However, the cocktail was different. Combined at the right amount, all 4 of those drugs created a staggering effect. It dramatically improved the hue, bringing a clear color to even latent criminals. Are there any effects on the brain? Of course, this thing's bad news. The cocktail affected the prefrontal cortex and inhibited the ability to detect stress. The effects spread across all areas, decreasing brain activity. Neural function progressively degenerates. Perhaps stress would not be the only thing that users would lose. As if she was reading my mind, analysis Karanomori said. It wasn't only the response to stress that was affected. Users were less inclined to feel pain, fear, injury, and ultimately lost their primal need for self-preservation. The decline of stress tolerance and other cognitive abilities led to a lack of self-control. If they felt any stress, they'd snap and go berserk. That explains their behavior after consuming those drugs. By the way, Ino's team found this. The person who taught the captors the cocktail recipe is allegedly a girl. A girl? This girl had somehow figured out how to evade the law by combining supplements. She was at the nurse's office, first floor of Central Campus with someone else. 2 of them, so she's not alone. It's possible this may be the person of interest that you guys have been searching for, the criminal mastermind. From analysis, Karanomori said it appeared that this other person was also the one who planned out the riot with Ryotaro Furuya. Yeah, that. This person had taught the captors how to make Molotovs and pipe bombs. Now we discovered he was not with Funaoka, but with this girl instead. This sounds like a very juicy situation, don't you think? There's like a big, throbbing... Wait, I'm a lesbian. What? You mean like erotica? Kanari, Karanomori, both of you stop fooling around. Anyway, no one's responsible for this rider in the nurse's office, right? Rather than Funaoka, we should pursue the real perpetrators behind this whole incident. Yeah, whatever, sure. I'm a girl too, technically, so whatever. I agree. But we're talking about a cocktail that allows you to evade the eyes of civil. It's be more than we can handle. I have the same concern. We should not act just yet. Let's work to Inspector Ginose and discuss this first. Oh man! But Gino's such a party pooper. Why don't we just go there ourselves? No, this is no investigation. We can't just do as we please. You sure? Like a god, I saw everything. The rage and sorrow and violence. All of it consumed the school. All the school's cameras were my eyes. Nothing slipped past my sight. Oh, humans will really do anything to destroy whatever's blocking their path. One monitor shows a student beating another. There's also a girl stomping on another student's head and making him lick her shoes. All of them were having so much fun. But this won't do. Making someone else unhappy make yourself happy. Then there's no other choice but to make everyone happy at the same time, huh? With a single blink, I changed the real-time footage that I was watching. Humanity will have to drink their medicine to obtain happiness. That I was sure of. Of all the exciting scenes being reported, something caught my eye. Tsurugi and Kudachi. Those damn cops. They here to bother me again? Well, this time my plan will succeed. After all, everyone has a clear view and is happy, right? Don't you think so too? So I'm guessing the proper ending of this game involves taking Alpha down, because you probably don't actually get that if you clear all three without doing that. Interesting. There's no response from the one he called out to. Shut up. Oh, sorry, were you sleeping? Did I wake you? No, I wasn't. It feels like I am just lying around here like this. Sherry's eyes were half open. Her hue was very clear like a translucent gem as blue as the skies. Those drowsy eyelids, I was sure her eyes sparkled. That's okay, rest well. Everyone fighting or something? Is everyone fighting or something? It's so noisy lately. If they made up, that'd be really nice. Sherry complained and seemed bothered. Of course, we could hear all the commotion from here. That must have been what made her feel uneasy. Those sounds, that's the problem. Must do something for her. Sorry it's been so noisy. But soon they'll all be happy just like you. Be quiet in no time. Yeah, okay. Happiness for everyone. And me too. I wiped the drool from the corner of her lips, slipped a few supplements in her mouth. Thus for her and the rest of humanity the path to happiness. With this heaven's gate, your hue will always be clear forever, even after happily ever after. After swallowing the medicine, her smile returned. A most dazzling one made only by those who escape the torture of pain. Let us see more of that perfect smile. Let her show me her heart's true color. Her smile, not Shiori, all of them to show me. Show just how much happiness could truly be attained. Tsunemori here, my team has arrived. Sorry for the wait. From now on, we'll pursue our common target together. Our first goal is to find the person who is behind the riot. Once we find him, I give him what he deserves for causing all this chaos. Karari, don't be rash. We'll use the Dominator first and foremost, then act accordingly based on his crime coefficient. He is important. He is an important suspect in multiple cases. At the least, we should prioritize safely securing him, Inspector. Yeah, even his crime coefficient is fine, we can't just let him go after he caused all this trouble. We all agree. We'll bring the criminal into custody before we rescue all the hostages, correct? It seems that way. Okay, let's capture this punk already so we can save the rest of the hostages. Alright, let's start the mission. We are very close to the nurse's office. What kind of person the criminal is. I wonder too, if he's cunning, we may be at a disadvantage. The nurse's office was located in the middle of the first floor in Central Campus. Since our regroup point was close by, we would reach in no time, however. Enemies, they're here! Like I said, they're students, not enemies. I'm sorry, if they have weapons, they're enemies! 8 captors came into view, swinging 2x4s and steel bats. There were 5 hostages in total, 4 on the floor, and one of them was lifted up by the next, being forced to stand. This is the MWPSB. You're all committing a crime against society. Drop your weapons and surrender at once. After reading the rights, I raised my dominator, but they just sneered. You think that's gonna work? Our ears are clear. Civil is nothing on us. We continued trying to defuse the situation, shouting, Drop your weapons! Don't resist! In return, they tried to convince us they were innocent. As they have already claimed, they have clear hues and low crime coefficients, Inspector Ganoza. What the fuck? I'm Inspector Ganoza, of the Public Safety Bureau CID Division 1. There's something you all need to know about the mental supplements you're taking. The captors fell silent, looking at one another. They started whispering, but then got louder. What do you mean Heaven's Gate is dangerous? Heaven's Gate? I see, so that's the name of the cocktail. They grew louder, shouting over each other. I say shit, it's just a supplement. Yeah, it's legal. Though they said it was legal, it seemed we weren't the only ones they were trying to convince. They had to have known what they took was not an officially approved drug. Compared to the other captors, they seemed to be more intelligent. Exhibit A, the way they used the hostages, but it seemed like they might be open to negotiations. They pointed at me and kept shouting, Withdraw your weapon! What should I do? See, the only bad part about using the stun grenade in this situation is the hostages. Understood, I will drop my gun. Wait, Miss Kugachi! I raised my hand at Enforcer Tsurugi, lowered my gun, frowning. The other inspectors looked on as I stepped forward, but I needed to gain the captor's trust. However, in return, you have to release the hostages. That will complete the swap. They all yelled, Screw off, what a bitch! Keep talking, we'll kill them! However, as angry and violent they seemed, did not want to do anything other than yell. It is certainly possible that you all have clear hues, but do you think your hues will remain unaffected as you make threats and keep your classmates as hostages? They all gasped, their eyes pulsating in their sockets. In the end, they dropped their weapons and stared at their trembling hands. Just as I thought, yet still listened to reason. They knew if they hit the hostages, there's a good chance their hues would worsen. Their eyes widened with fear. Now, if you surrender, the hues will remain clear. But if things escalate and any of you act violently, then... I raised my dominator again. Instead of shouting their cocky cries like before, they all just stared at the gun, waiting, watching, hoping. I did where I wanted. Without any hesitation, I made a signal to the enforcers, pointing at the captors' scared, boyish faces. Time to end this. Recognizing the situation, the enforcers charged the captors. First made contact was Enforcer Tsurugi, who tackled a few of them to the ground. In only a few moments, all the captors were suppressed. The outcome was better than I expected. It may have taken too long, making them more scared than necessary. All hostages released. They suffered a few bruises, but no one is badly injured. We're running out of time. Let the hostages flee on their own. Kunizuka, send drones to direct them to the escape route. Roger. I'll order the drones on standby and come here at once. We hurried, just ahead. There's the office. Although the door was sealed shut, we hear a loud argument going on inside. It sounded like it was between a boy and a girl. Not making out what they were saying, however, the situation seemed very tense. The girl sounded hysterical. Time was of the essence. I looked at Inspector Ganoza. He nodded, then used the master key to unlock the door, and all the enforcers rushed in. I'm scared. So scared. Sherry had dozed off, but out of nowhere she awakened, startled, and grabbed me. Fingers dug into me until her tips were red. What was making her so scared? What's wrong? Something scaring you? Everything! Everything, why? Why is it all like that? The riot is bad. But everything is over now. It's all over for me. What's wrong? Your fear is clear. There's nothing you should be scared of. That's a lie. My ears clear. Then why am I so scared? Why is everyone running? Why is the police here? It doesn't make any sense. Something is wrong. Nobody talk. Up in the fuck out of here. Ah! Then she jumps out the window. So, you think that I made a mistake? Ah! She thought I made a mistake. That ungrateful... I was enraged. I wasn't overheating. I felt a burning surge deep within me. My body started shaking uncontrollably. Hey, you're happy, right? You've been granted your very own happiness by me. There's no reason for you to be unhappy. No, it's just that it's scary, so scary. This isn't happiness. Why? What's going on? I only wanted here to be pretty. Be happy, that's all. Seeing Shiori tremble, something so fragile started to cool off. The human brain is really inconvenient. As long as its sensory functionality worked, it would find any negativity to cling on to. What an incomplete and pitiful existence. Yo, I feel that on a real level. Scary, 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 scary. Calm down, I'm here. No, not you. The medicine, I need the medicine. Not me. That was last straw. I felt a burning rage within my chest. I could hear my thumping pulse. My teeth started grinding on their own. All I was doing was trying to make this girl happy, so why did she say I wasn't needed? But without me, you have never had Heaven's Gate. You need me to attain happiness, isn't that right? Sure, why not? Can you give me the drug? If not, I'll pay. Wow, she sounds like a real fucking junkie. Hey, you want to buy it? It can all be bought from anywhere. You're saying I'm not needed? Ah! The problem with humans was that they're all stupid. They believed they could make themselves happy. They always failed. Without me, they'd always be a lot of unhappy fools. You think you can buy it? And if their supplements at the right doses can just be bought? I came up with the recipe. I made it. I passed around. You're happy because of me. Hey, are you angry? She always stared at me wide-eyed, trembling. The pulse in my chest subsided. I couldn't let myself be manipulated to be angry. Mother saw this. She would definitely scold me. That would be terrible, and then I'd never be praised. I'd work harder, so she would notice my existence. If I was like any other human, I'd be angry. But it's okay, I'm not. I can never be mad at you. Really? It's okay, you don't need to be scared. I'll give you happiness. The result of this experiment will all be known by its very end. There's still a lot more medicine. I picked up more than the amount of pills necessary for the cocktail and held them under Shiori's mouth. No, I asked her if she wanted it. There was no need for choices. Sorry, the previous doses weren't enough. I would have you before, and that was my fault. Well then, open your mouth. What I needed to give her was absolute happiness. I guaranteed your happiness after all. Just like Shiori did. All humanity needed to do was open their mouths and swallow pills to be happy. See, Mother, I was only helping them. Ooh. I'm so... dead. Sure you are. Just as Shiori uttered her delight, I heard the bolt on the door unlock. What could it possibly be? I glanced at the entrance, and I saw... Oh, fuck the cops. A girl and a boy. Golden hair and those... Oh, that's from my perspective. I opened the door, and I saw a girl and a boy. Golden hair and those red eyes. I had seen his face before, countless times. I recognized his face. My head started to spin like I had before. Stars an intense headache, then surged deep within my chest, kicked my heart like a ragdoll. Tears filled my eyes. Shiori Matsukata! The force of Tsurugi's voice dragged me back to the present. The boy was feeding something to the girl. She chomped it up and bent her neck back, swallowing it all. Shiori! The girl who had been abducted, Shiori Matsukata, could only watch as she fell. I could only watch as she fell, and Inspector Sumori rushed to catch her. She flailed in the inspector's arms, screaming. Inspector Tsunemori, make sure that she does not bite her tongue. Yes! What was I doing, letting myself fall into a daze? No time to waste. Every moment counting, I walked to Shiori as she put down a handkerchief. She seemed to be suffering. Was she in shock due to a drug overdose? Or induced vomiting? In a few moments, all the strain in her face vanished and her body became limp. Pupils dilated and drool dripped from her mouth. I twisted her wrist, trying to get a reaction from her. She did not respond. Miss Kogachi? There is a high chance that her brain is not receiving enough oxygen. She needs immediate medical attention. Wait. I remembered I had treated patients like her before. They were all brain dead, and just like that, now it's too late. I felt Inspector Tsunemore's eyes watching me. She knew. No. Inspector Tsunemori couldn't stand. I stayed by Shiori, checking her pulse and airways. Laid her head down after slowly standing up. I faced the person at fault. Finally, she received her happiness. He laughed, a pure, joyful laugh, not a care in the world. As I watched him, my headache returned. The room began spinning. These flashbacks, or deja vu, or whatever they were, never seemed to cease. I needed to ask him, are you the one behind all this? That's right, it was all me. The room filled with his innocent childish laugh. I think we should introduce one another. I'll go first then. My name's Alpha. Oh, what a splendid name my mother gave me. And yours is? Alpha. My vision started to blur from all the spinning. I could hear the throbbing pain pound against my skull with every pulse, as if something was trying to burst out. All this chaos stems from you, you piece of shit, Alpha! Are you referring to the experiment that I'm conducting? If so, then yes, that would be me. This is unforgivable! Inspector Tsunemori pointed her dominator at him. At this distance, she could not miss, yet Alpha still grinned like he knew. No way! Why? What is this? What, Tsunemori? Humans aren't flawed. Despite a map being drawn out for them, they still don't follow the path to happiness. Tsunemori, answer me! Inspector Ganozo, please confirm this. The Dominator is... And so I decided to help you humans along this path. Inspector Ganozo raised his Dominator, as did the rest of us, aimed at the boy as he continued to talk. And fucking nothing. I wish to offer a simpler way for humans to obtain happiness. It's known as Heaven's Gate. They've been following a new recipe I've discovered. As expected, the Dominator did not acknowledge Alpha as a target. He lived in a world separate from the one that Sybil recognized. The CID's Division 1. It would have been quite a pain, but you're only able to enforce persons with high crime coefficients. Thus, your guns are useless against me. Who are you? I'm Alpha, the Sybil system's successor. I'm the AI who will lead all humans to happiness. An AI who was created to bring happiness to humanity. And after you said that, the kicking within my head grew stronger. I felt like my skull would split in two, my chest tightened, and I thought I'd suffocate. I tried focusing on Inspector Ganoza's and Enforcer Kogami's faint voices. An AI? Don't make me laugh. I've never heard of an AI the likes of you in development. You know, open your eyes. Right before us is an entity that isn't even recognized by the Sybil system. Do you really think he's human? I am human. Alpha sounded angry now. He shook his head furiously in protest. AI, bring happiness to humanity, such a bold aspiration. No, I am an AI, not a human. I was made by a human, and who is that exactly? Who am I? I am I am... You... Exactly who or what are you? Who exactly was this human or thing? Why does his presence bother me like this? I am Alpha. Alpha, I have a name, yes. Mother gave me this name, my mother. Yukari, that's your name, right? Yukari? Tsurugi, you're called Tsurugi. You're my enemy. Why do you know who I am? Well, unfortunately, you're much different from back then. I know your mother very well. Kari Himokawa. She's the one who made you, isn't that right? I don't understand. Don't pretend to be ignorant. Where's Yukari? Answer me! I struggled to see, gazing at the back of Enforcer Tsurugi. His voice seemed really far away. Yukari, who was that? Why did it sound so familiar? I don't know. Can't remember not her face or even her name. Alphasona is innocent as a little boy who had not yet learned right from wrong, a forsaken boy who had lost his parents. Oh, I wonder if he had lost his memories too. Like myself, he seemed to have no one to confide in, no knowledge who he was or who the important people in his life had been. My pulse pounded, my heart felt like it was expanding. I struggled to continue to breathe. It was hard to focus and I could barely stand. I did not take my eyes off him, other than their deep red tinge. His eyes held the sorrow of someone who had begged to be seen for he truly was. Not thinking, I reached out to him. Stop it! He smacked away my hand, leaving it numb. A sharp tingle surged throughout my hand. Like electricity. Was this pain or... I don't like you. You're my enemy. All of you. I can't be stopped by the likes of you. I need to bring happiness to humanity. Why? The mother won't praise me. My existence is pointless if I can't make people happy. I need to do this for her. With a push, I shot into the air, crashed into the wall, then fell to the ground. I was too strong. I couldn't block him. My chest, my head, no, my entire body felt broken. You bastard! Alpha ripped out a metal pipe from the wall and walked toward the doorway. Whereas the Masaoka and Kagami were blocking the entrance. Get out of my way! I'm afraid we can't do that. You're not going anywhere. There's a few questions we need you to answer. We have so many things we want to know from you. You're a prime suspect in the cyborg theft case. Not only that, but in other cases as well. Inspector Sunomore's firm voice rang loudly. Ah, right. There's something I must do, but what am I doing here? Hey, are you okay? Don't worry about me. You need to apprehend him first. First, Tsurugi lent me his hand, helping me to get back up. The equilibrium was still off from the ringing in my head, but he did again this right here, right now. Enforcers, arrest Alpha. Enforcer Koizuka, you and the other inspectors should stay out of the fight. Protect Shiori Matsukata. Understood! We're getting a fight with a cyborg, so exciting! Shu, brace yourself for battle! Both of you, all of you, get out of my way or I'll make you! Alpha swung his metal pipe, only to be blocked by Enforcer Kagami's baton. With that, the battle begun. Officer Masaoka joined in on the fight, throwing a punch at Alpha's abdomen with a cyber-sized fist, but he dodged it, leaping back before contact was made. You're not going anywhere! Enforcer Kagari tried executing a leg sweep where Alpha would land, but like the skilled fighter he was, Alpha blocked it with his shin. Ow! You're in my way! Alpha swung his metal pipe at Enforcer Kagari, but luckily Enforcer Tsurugi grabbed Alpha just in time so the attack only breezed by Kagari's hair. Thanks, Taco! You fools, you! Be careful! He has a cyber-sized body! Exactly, so spread out. Well, Alpha seemed to be tiring. Enforcer Kagami seized the opportunity, striking with his baton. Why am I trembling over the word baton? But Alpha managed to block the brunt of the attack with his metal pipe. Enforcer Kagami had an efficient fighting style. His body seemed as sturdy yet nimble as a cyborg. Or I could tell his attack was remarkable. If you claim you're giving them happiness, why do you give them supplements instead? Because it brings immediate results. Humans have an endless list of desires, and their ultimate goal of happiness is linked to every one of their wishes. And you have to say, though, that this game is actually quite the metaphor for how psychologists actually treat people. They think if you're a little crazy, a few pills will make you happy, and it doesn't always work. And if it does, it's not for forever. Alpha seemed to have gotten a second wind, and he rushed forward, attacking with even more intensity. They want to avoid any bad feelings. All they want is to feel pleasure. That's humanity for you. I'm giving them happiness where they can feel nothing but joy. Freud's theory of happiness, huh? Heh, so you know, Kagami. You're quite intriguing, unlike the rest of them. With a surging, intense blow, Alpha hit Enforcer Kagami's baton so hard it flung out of his grip. Enforcer Tsurugi rushed in, continuing the battle as Kagami pulled back. Don't burn yourself out. Cyborgs do not tire. A human cannot possibly win. Sure, well I fought Ko. Never had to catch his breath. Any ideas, Kagachi? Ideas? Please, don't resist. There's something I must ask you. Kagachi? That was clearly the wrong choice, but seeing that lonely, childish expression he had made me think of something familiar. I don't know if that was the correct line, but close enough. Miss Kagachi, don't come any closer, it's too dangerous! Alpha, please, just stop. Found my Dominator baton, I slid down the crater, rushing to Alpha's side. The Enforcers all looked at me, shocked, but then Enforcer Tsurugi grabbed Alpha's metal pipe, ready to end this once and for all. Mother? Hey! With one swift motion, Alpha dodged Enforcer Tsurugi's attack. The eye reached his hands out toward me. He held my hands tight. They were so warm. This warmth seemed to thaw my forgotten memories from the confines of their frigid slumber. By holding our hands like this, your hue will improve. Yes, I understand, Mother. People who start having cloudy hues should hold hands and snuggle and make them all feel better. Human touch is very effective therapy. I wonder, what degree of warmth is best? What do you think, Mother? What's the best temperature? Oh, for me? Well, for now, let's enter a temperature into your sensory device. Okay, wow, this is warm. Human touch is really, really warm. His hand, this warmth that wrapped so tightly around mine, resonating something familiar deep within my chest. Was it deja vu? No. It was like the warmth I had felt recently. Mother! A clear drop spilled from the corner of Alpha's eyes. Tears? These tears of an AI? Cyberized bodies do have tear ducts, but... His behavior shifted to that of a child's. What's going on? Quiet. We'll leave it to Kagachi. Be ready to act if something happens. What? What's going on? Data transmission corrupted. Temporarily shutting down. Alpha, what happened? What's going on inside you? It was apparent that having physical contact with me caused him to act strangely. But it wasn't only him. The flashback I just had rattled my brain, making it throb. As if attempting to rid itself of that discomfort, began shaking his body. However, Spirit had terminated, abandoning Cyberized body. Cyberized body had lost consciousness. Alpha's head slumped forward, and I could feel his dead weight press upon me. It was too heavy, and I fell along with the body. This Kagachi! Kagachi, what happened? I slowly shook my head as the Enforcers all gathered around me. I don't know, but he's gone now. He ditched the cyberized body, and his consciousness escaped to the net. Shit! Is that even possible? Samurai's body remained motionless, its hollow eyes slowly staring at the ceiling. The remainder of the case took very little time to wrap up. In the end, all the captors were safely secured, while the hostages were rescued without any issues. And the leader, Ryotaro Funoka, who had most of the captors and hostages with him, proved to be nothing more than a kid. Not much of a struggle, he was apprehended. Although the captors were still armed with Molotovs and pipe bombs, we understood how they operated, so we were able to defuse those situations accordingly. And just like that, the case was resolved. All students, hostages, and captors were transported to the National Hospital. There, they received medical care assistance and Q checks. Unfortunately, the main criminal Alpha evaded us. The other perpetrator, Shiori Matsukata, was apprehended, or rather, she had no means of escaping. Have you heard of useless deficiency? What is your name? This syndrome is said to occur after the sufferer overdoses on mental supplements, leads to a loss of stimulus response activity. Shiori Matsukata is suffering from this? Even for me. It's my first time witnessing this. Nevertheless, all her symptoms match those of the useless deficiency syndrome. But this is not an official recognized disease, right? It doesn't matter. Her brain has clearly been affected by medication overdose. Inspector Kinoza was right. The more we discussed this illness, the more I felt like I had something that needed to be said about it. Useless deficiency cerebral infraction is an illness that gradually destroys the autonomic nervous system. Gotcha. Do you know anything about it? I do not completely remember, but the process takes a long time. Prior to this, there had not been any reports of severe cases. I spoke without thinking. None of this was from memory, but more like a knowledge that I had pouring out from my lips. Are you sure that saying this syndrome wasn't caused by the medication? These symptoms are so similar to what I've seen before. Patients become numb to stress or any other stimuli. All sensory functions and brain activity declines. Us, who suffer from this experience, destabilized you. For all removing all pain receptors guaranteed it to be clear. And that was when I realized Alpha's plan. I see. This thing was planned all along. Not to create a riot, but to create many others who are just like Shiori Matsukata. What do you mean? Can't be. Yes, Alpha wants to, for lack of a better word, reprogram all humanity so you can give them happiness. That's why you created Heaven's Gate. Just like the every gate one past to enter heaven. But why? Useless, whatever that means, is like being stuck in limbo, neither dead nor alive. How can you even call that being happy? The world we live in, he believes happiness can only be attained by ridding people of all their pain, giving them an infinitely clear hue. No matter what Miss Joy says, I can't let him win. I'm gonna pull Shiori off this one way or another. Being a living corpse is not happiness. Boy, his thing is really messed up. That bastard said that humans will do anything to achieve their happiness. So if logically rationalized his definition of happiness, it could in fact be just that. But that's a robotic way of thinking. I wonder if he really is an AI like he said. Probably. Then again, he claimed to be human, and he showed signs of having a deep affection for his mother. Nothing he said gives us any substantial leads. His loneliness and desperation for his mother's approval is apparent, as was his anger toward us. But still, there's no denying that he was an AI. After all, several judged him as a non-human entity, right? But perhaps, maybe there was another reason why he was deemed so. No matter how much I thought, I could not think of why. It irritated me like an itch that was a fingertip too far away from reach. That sure isn't happiness, but this alpha guy only trying to make those bad students Shiori Makoto out of happy, right? Isn't that why he did that? So, in the end, you're only being good enough, suffer the consequences. And so means I have to be hurt. Sorry. Her objection left her in shambles, so he chose her in order to restore her happiness. That was his idea of bringing happiness to that poor girl. Due to our fast response, there were no reports of any of the captives having symptoms similar to Shiori's. All hostages also showed improvements in their hues. We managed to keep the losses to a minimum, but what about Shiori? If her symptoms are the same as the EDS, it is unlikely she will ever return to society. No one has ever recovered from that illness. That shitty state of being is what he calls happiness. As the case came to a close, Enforcer Kagami approached Officer Tsurugi and started talking. Tsurugi, you knew Alpha, didn't you? A long time ago, my friend raised an AI that had the same name as his. That's the girl you've been searching for, right? What was her name? Yukari Himakawa? Suddenly, after hearing that name, my chest tightened. Out of reflex, I looked down as if I was guilty, even though I had no reason to be. Bullshit! She couldn't understand human emotions, just like Miss Kugachi. Huh? What do you mean? That was something Yukari worried about, so she made an AI and gave it the ability to process and learn the emotional responses. She named him Alpha. Now my heart felt even tighter, as if it would burst. This Yukari woman, who I had never known, possessed the same problems and worries that I experienced. I wonder why. Empathy had always invaded my understanding. I never had problems with my hue like others did. Never knew what people felt, what they thought. Hey, Doc, you don't look too well. I'm fine. This is rare for me, but I think I can understand what Yukari Himakawa is going through. I just had a flashback or something of that nature. Like what happened when we encountered Alpha? Your face looked pale as it does now. Is all of this related somehow? Sorry, I don't know. It might have to do with my memory loss, but for some reason I get these flashbacks regarding that AI or Yukari. After I can empathize with them. She must have been teased growing up for not being able to understand other people's feelings. The similarity I have with her is giving me a headache. Dang, that's like some hardcore trauma. Kugachi, you should attend counseling afterwards. Your focus on the job may be affected. You consider taking a leave of absence. You're right. Sorry, I think this... Oh, God. I think what I said may have triggered some pretty bad memories for you. Should we discuss this later? No, continue, please. Do you have any information regarding the case? I want to know, too. I do not want to waste everyone's time. First, Tsurugi seemed reluctant. He nodded and forced a wry smile. Okay, let's continue then. Where were we? Yukari Himakawa tried creating an AI and emotions of its own. So what were the results of that experiment? Well, all I know is from the time when Yukari had a job in child care when he was created, Alpha was like a baby and Yukari raised him as such. But she wasn't able to understand human emotions either, right? Right. Which is why she was learning herself. She once told me that I was the model for Alpha. I was rich with emotion. She used me as his role model. Which means Yukari was his mom and you were his dad? Well, I mean, technically. Yukari, cut it out. Shit, well maybe. The three of us often talked at the park. Now that I think about it, those were like picnics. But as of now, you don't know where Yukari is. Then Yukari disappeared. I don't know how or why. Maybe she's still conducting her research, and Alpha may very well be the same kid that I knew all grown up now. That's nonsense. Yeah, capable of independent action is far from reality. Someone else is controlling Alpha, not Alpha himself. If that's the case, then who? Where is that person? I don't have enough information to answer your questions. But for all these cases where Alpha was involved, we needed to consider Yukari Himikawa's involvement as well. Inspector Ginoza, you're saying that Yukari Himikawa should be brought in as a suspect? It's still too early to say that, but we should try and track down her whereabouts. In that case, thank you for helping me find her, Ginoza. I'll give it a shot. Thanks. For Inspector Ginoza offered to help, Professor Tsurugi looked as if the weight was lifted off his back. There's no doubt that Yukari must have been very important to him. My chest felt like it had been pricked a million times by a sharp, tiny needle. Why do I still feel like this? I'll also try my best to help us find Yukari together. Wow, that's like, you know, the suspect trying to help find who's sauce. It's even funnier to think when there's two of them. There's a high chance that Yukari would be brought in as witness. Of course, as an inspector, I would be tasked with interrogating her. That was given. That'd kind of be like a conflict of interest, wouldn't it? Thanks, Miss Kugachi. He placed his large warm hand on my shoulder, and that prickly pain in my chest slowly vanished. Human touch possessed such a great therapeutic effect. Now I know why it worked. His hand healed me. It was not a particular bad feeling at all. Alright, for the time being, that case was closed. The recipe for Heaven's Gate was sent to our Tokyo HQ, and the supplement's usage of every person be strictly monitored from here on. None of this would be made public. Without the public's knowledge, the Ban Act was put into effect. As often happened in order to protect the well-being of everyone's use. The disclaimer for the supplements remained the same, however. Message was added. Supplements should be taken within the recommended dosage in a proper manner. We continued our search for Alpha. However, we were unable to find any leads on his whereabouts. Shiori Matsukata had been placed in the same hospital as our temporary HQ, but after a short stay, she was moved to a special medical facility. Moreover, even the time and day of her transfer was not disclosed to us. We were also denied visitation rights, so we never saw her again, much less knew what came of her. She probably fucking died. She was the first victim in my case as an inspector. Never guessed things would turn out this way. Well, there was something more we could have done. Professor Tsurugi continued muttering his discontent when forced his mouth out and Kagami tried to console him. I did not think I'd divulged so much about myself to them. Even then, my chest felt hollow. This powerlessness was like a chasm. Oh, I almost said chasm. Where only cold winds rushed through. Sorrow. I knew this emotion, or maybe I remembered it. Either way, I felt it. Sorrow again. Was able to save the ones who needed it most. There's nothing to do but make it. There's nothing to do to make it all better. The heavy emptiness that lingers for far too long. Only still a part of you with it when it decides to leave. It's been rough for the both of us. I did not think I was talking to myself out loud. But when I came to, Professor Tsurugi stood beside me, tapping on my shoulder lightly. No denying it, Professor Tsurugi knew, as he had known all along, the pain I was going through. Carried that same immense burden, but just by knowing that, it helped relieve mine a bit. How mysterious. Two of us holding up our sorrow and solidarity. Now, any leads on Alpha's whereabouts, we received a new order from the top brass. An increased drone presence has been established in Southern Marine City. Mental health exam was complete, so we, Division 1, for Cell to return to Tokyo. My wrist comet alarm sounded. It appeared that one of the enforcers used had reached a dangerous level. On my duty as an inspector, I had to respond, so I turned on my communications. Oh, is this doll? Told me about my worsened hue. Should pay attention to other things. Step, for example, really occurred at a crime scene. Maybe there are a few things we can do about that top brass disorder. Something made me feel uneasy. Perhaps we'll revisit this. Just some old man's joke or something, believe it's true. After reading the short memo, I hardly had any time to spare. Needed to start preparing for our return to Tokyo. Going to leave even without solving whatever the hell's going on here? What do we do about Alpha? No way the drones can stop him. This is an order enforcer authority. It's not something we can discuss. You're correct, Inspector Ginoza. However, I do not think that this will end here. Our hunter will be back here on these streets soon enough. I'm certain, because Alpha had not achieved his ultimate goal. However, things did not happen as I predicted. After we returned to Tokyo, Sato Marine City was quiet. It's almost as if those recurring cases were just a bad dream. But no one believed the pace would last. This was the calm before the storm. I can't imagine he just disappeared like that. He's definitely up to something. You know, the time's right. This guy's reigning with his terror. What's his next plan, eh, Bats? I'm not taking this seriously. But even if something happens there again, would we even be allowed to investigate it? There's no point in dwelling on hypotheticals. Wouldn't it be better if we mentally prepared ourselves for what's to come? No, this sits well with me. Even if you feel that in your gut, it can possibly be done without any evidence. You should search for Yukari Himikawa, since it is likely she is our best bet learning more about Alpha. You'll find her by any means necessary. Sure, headstrong. That's exactly what we need to do, Gino. And see the tail of our prey. Let me take a bite at it. Right. The order from the top brass doesn't restrict us from stopping our investigation. Even if we never return to that city, we have lots of data that can offer leads. On the contrary, I believe we will be back there again. Kugachi? What's your reasoning behind this claim? I shook my head slowly. I knew my gut feeling was an impractical response, but when you know, you know. It's just a woman's intuition. Good answer. It's the best kind. I also understand that isn't a logical thing to say, but that's my only rationale. I wasn't planning to make fun of you. We follow our intuition all the time, like making an unconscious decision based on your experience. In other words, if it cannot be explained, you're saying that you believe in my intuition? That's what I think. Nonsense! Kugachi, if this was your first deployment, we have suffered too much from those cases. If you draw the past, it will only cloud your judgment. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. If this only has like 5 minutes left, I'll attach it onto the end of this. Since I haven't really been doing an intro, but holy fuck. There's a lot of dialogue going on. I don't know how much more I have until the actual end of the chapter, so I'm going to end here and continue on, and if it really is only like 5 or 10 minutes, I'll slap it on to the end of this. If you enjoyed what you saw, though, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, ring that bell like Facebook, follow Twitter and Twitch, because I try and stream and upload every single day. Till next time, been TheBlaziking, out, ta-ta for now, peace.